Sounding good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Finally.
Yeah.
We're here. And whoa, that was loud. Okay. No, that's loud for me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Now better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here. And I was just joking and just kidding now. I'm the amateur content creator and I'm in the presence of the professional here. Awesome, man. Thank you for doing this, Yana.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been years.
It has been, right. As we were talking just before this, the last time we saw each other was
2019.
And that was at the showcase at the B that we did. That Pop Shabit Project Year did. That seemed like a lifetime ago.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So many things happen in between.
A lifetime ago. But I think I have to apologize. I think that night also, it was a blur. I don't think even if with that, I think we might have just said hi and bye in passing.
We did. Yeah,
because there's so many things going on.
Yeah,
there's all
and you're
all
organizing
the
event.
All the people. Well, not me, but
kinda. I mean,
but there's people. But there's so many people there. So it's like talk to everyone. Blah blah blah. So
yeah, it's just a touch and go thing.
Yeah. Plus also. Honestly, when you get a little bit older, the memory bandwidth starts to gets filled up, gets depleted, Yeah,
I'm starting to feel it.
Oh, come on, Yeah. It just brings back so many cool, really, really fun memories, man.
Yes.
Before this, I mean,
I remember the older memories, but not... There's this couple of years that's kind of a blur, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
I definitely look back. I was looking back at some of the old photos of, you and a bunch of other friends as well. We did a little kind of an open day, kind of a social visit kind of thing to the studio.
Yeah.
The whole bunch was playing Monopoly in the studio. It's
like
that's not what this place was meant to be. Okay, but hey, I appreciate that because sometimes it helps me to
just let loose a little bit, right?
Take time off from, otherwise it'll be every day doing this,
Because you get burnt out. Like even for me, I need something that's not monetized, because now even social media for me is like work.
Mm-hmm.
So if you scroll, sometimes people scroll for fun, right? But for me, I can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I would just be thinking, okay, why does this content do well?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that goes in your head, huh? All right, okay.
It's not fun anymore.
Oh, come on. Yeah, but awesome. Thank you for doing this, Thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you for having me. This is so cool, to have a podcast. I used to have one.
I mean, you can always start one again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's cool for me, because me and maybe my 4 viewers. Hi, Mom.
There's still viewers. 4 is still a crowd if you put them all in the room. That's my mindset now.
All right. Yeah. Always look at the bright side. Yeah, but I think most people may not know that. Yeah, we've known each other for quite a long time.
16 years.
Yeah. Back then, you think, look, you were still a kid. Back then,
yeah. Oh my God, I was 15
in school, and I knew you were very into music, and we can talk a little bit about that as well. If you don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
You were really into music. Do people know and still dig into you and your band that you had this time?
At first, I used to put the name of my band on my bio, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people started stalking, and I'm like, probably not. So I started removing the band because that's not who I am anymore.
Correct, yeah.
So I did talk about it at some point, because there was a Q&A, and everyone's like, you were in a band? I'm like, yeah, but it didn't last that long. It didn't do it. It failed. It flopped, I feel.
No, it didn't flop, okay? All right, well, I mean... Yeah, we just jump right into that, So
the flopping part.
Well, the flop is a type of it. You jump into a flop,
Yeah, okay. You have to in order to come back up, right?
In order that, yeah. But look at you. Look at where you are today. I loved you to maybe share your journey of how it got you into music for a start. it would be really cool and interesting to see how you transitioned into your career path today.
Oh,
You know? Yeah.
wow, that's a very long. It's like 15 years worth of journey, right? Because I wanted to do music for like, I think I stopped around 2019, so that was from 2008 to 2019. So I pursued music for 11 years, right? But like, granted, I wasn't that serious in the first few years because I was in high school
Yeah.
and I was in college, not a lot of family support. But I was still doing music
Yes.
with Music Club. And I think I took the Music Club people here as well for a visit, right? If you
Yep,
remember
that's
that.
right. Yeah.
So
I know. Yeah.
So those were like, some of them were members of my band and they came and go. And I love music and I still do. I still look at music as the one who got away. Because I think the last show that I performed was in 2019 that was for Good Vibes. But it wasn't like the Good Vibes Festival. It was an installment of Good Vibes.
Okay.
So yeah, it was in Kwai Chai Hong. That was the last ever show I've ever played.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
And I played as a solo artist.
Right,
and then
yeah.
COVID happened. So when COVID happened, it was kind of tough because, you can't really jam. And then, people started their own thing. And you're pretty much isolated. You can't play in a band. You can't do anything for a long time.
Yep.
And my sister passed away, right? That was when I feel like I kind of lost myself a little bit.
Yeah.
So I didn't like the things that I used to like anymore. Then how I started the social media thing was because everybody was making videos at home because you can't do anything. It's the pandemic, right?
Right. Yeah.
You're in quarantine. So, and then I actually joined an acting class for fun because I thought, okay, I can't do music. It feels unattainable because I did some self-reflection. I'm like, maybe it's not for me because like I've tried for more than 10 years. It's not going anywhere. So I'm like, you know what? Like I had to, with a heavy heart, leave the dream behind, which was devastating. Like it was so sad. So, and then I started acting. And I feel like, wait, I could do this, So I took classes and I didn't go for auditions or anything because I felt insecure about my skills, right? And I started, okay, how can I practice acting videos? Because like, nobody's looking at you. Well, technically people are. Because like back then I had like maybe 2 views, 64 views. Like 64 was like, woo, 64.
Yeah.
So, and then I just kept doing it and I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. Maybe I should do comedy. And that was history. And eventually I quit my job. Because I feel like, you know what, I'm done. Like I just want to try for a year. And I asked Shak, like, can I quit? Can I just like not work for a year?
Yeah.
Then we moved. That's how we moved to Wang Maju to save money because it's a lot cheaper there than Damansara. So I stopped being a Damansara girl for a while. So I was like, oh, this is such a strange environment because everybody was so chill. It's like an old area, retirees everywhere. So, and then we started making videos, just grinding every single day. For 3 years, I posted every single day. I think I posted like 600 to 900 videos by now.
Yes.
And then eventually I'm like, oh, the first client came to me and they're like, do you want to do a branded campaign? And I'm like, you can earn money from this? Okay. So I was like, okay, just take it for fun and stuff. Because I was doing freelance writing at the when I quit my job. I didn't go full-time content creation.
Yeah.
So I was doing freelance writing and videos were like for fun. I wanted to see, okay, where would this go? And then I got more and more brand clients. And eventually I landed the biggest one, which was Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I think this is what I'm supposed to do,
Yeah.
And then I completely left music behind.
Yeah.
And I forgot about the acting thing because I thought like, okay, I could just do like my own thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's how we got here, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, but somehow inside you, as you said, maybe that was the one that got away. Maybe that wasn't meant to be. I beg to differ. Like I said, in case you
Everyone
I'm not sure what I mentioned to you. I mean, the song that you did, because you remember I sent it for mastering overseas to the mastering engineer from the US.
Yeah.
He was so impressed with it.
Was he?
He put it on one of his portfolio. It's actually on his portfolio.
What?
I didn't mention it to you.
No, you didn't say that.
Okay, yeah. I thought I did, No, but but again, it's maybe sometimes timing luck. Maybe
Yeah.
the market or the audience here in Malaysia was just not ready for you, not ready for
Probably.
you in that form, Yeah,
Yeah.
that could have been the caterpillar, and then then you went through the whole metamorphosis of going past music and then going into where you are right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did consider coming back a couple of times for fun, right? Because there was a content creator who kind of pivoted back into music.
Yeah.
Because now she has a platform.
Never too late. Never
Still
too
thinking about it. We'll
late.
see. We'll
Write some
see.
songs, yeah.
I still have so many, but I feel like I've outgrown the pop punk phase.
Yeah, sometimes maybe those kind of angsty, angry.
Yeah, I'm not angry anymore. I
Ki-
feel like I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Well, so the songs would be like, gotta get to bed by 10 p.m. So that's actually maybe the songs that gonna want to write nowadays. Okay.
You still sleep at 10? You sleep at 10. Wait, do you still stay up all night or no? Like, is that the thing?
No, if it's avoidable, if it's preventable, no.
You don't do the 9 p.m. thing and then, you work at 9 p.m.
Unless, no, what, that's a joke because why it's called 21:05, right? Because
Yeah.
everyone says I only work at 9:05 p.m. No. It's really have to put the brakes on the whole thing already. Otherwise, the wheels are going to fall off,
Yeah. So it's not true.
I mean, back then, back then when you're younger, you were so much more gung-ho and like,
Yeah.
all right, go 24 hours, 48 hours without sleep.
Yeah.
That maybe, but no.
Now not anymore?
I think you asked even the rest of the band, so all of us are all uncles already
Oh my
with
God.
kids and everything. It's like by 9:30, 10 p.m., everyone's like, okay, low energy.
No, you were my age when you were still working those hours, and I'm like, that's so impressive because now I can't do it.
Uh-huh.
No, not at this age.
I mean, it's a bit of an unfair. It's like an apples to oranges kind of a thing, lah. The sort of lifestyle. But then again, the reflection is here, and I think this applies to anyone who's doing freelance work, essentially. Freelance and all that. Sometimes you may think that you're like taking like an 18 or 20-hour day to do stuff,
Yeah,
but actually sometimes a lot of that time is just spent
thinking.
messing around and effing off, or getting distracted by
Yeah.
other things. So sometimes I'm actually guilty of that, but it's now transitioned to be more focused. I'm much more of an early morning person. I tend to be actually in the studio by 7:30 in the morning
A.M.?
a.m.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even. I mean, I wake up at like 5-ish,
Mhm.
but I'm not a human until 10. Like, don't talk to me before
Oh.
10. I'll just be like zombie mode the whole time, I just don't function in the morning. It's not me.
Yeah. So now I don't know. It's different. It's called getting old.
Yeah.
It's getting older. Yeah.
It's so, wow. Because you used to do like 9 to, I don't know, like ungodly hours. And I'll be
Yeah.
texting you at 2 and you haven't replied. And then today you texted me. I'm like, oh, he up.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, those were the days, my
Yeah.
friend.
It's like, wow, JD's up. I was just telling Shah, I'm like, oh, okay, he's up at this hour.
Yeah.
That's why I
Well,
said 3 p.m., remember? Because I'm like, I don't think you're up at 2. Then,
no.
then you texted me at 12. I'm like, who are
No,
you?
no. What happened? What have you done to him? Where's the real JD?
Because you're always waking up like in the evening, right?
That was in the past.
Yeah.
No, but usually I'm always already, no matter how, I'm usually already in by like 12, the latest.
Wow.
Latest. It's always been like that. Yeah.
After having kids or before?
Even before was that. Because now when you have kids and all that, it's earlier.
Wait,
Yeah.
what was the age when you
What?
start noticing that your sleeping patterns change?
It's more of definitely after my my kid lah. So which is after 2016.
Wait, how old is
Yeah.
your kid now?
He's 8. He's gonna turn 9
He's
real soon.
8?
Yeah, he's gonna turn 9 in January. Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were 30 something when you had him.
Yeah, Yeah, when I had him. Well, it wasn't me who had him. It was my wife who had
I
him.
mean,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
helped.
Yeah, yeah. I contributed, some genetic material. Okay, let's not go there.
So wait, hang on.
Yeah.
How old were you when you had a kid?
No, so 9 years ago, that would be, no, when I was 30, 36, 37.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, not too late for me. Okay,
Which
I'm
is-
31.
Which is fairly, not too late. Here. Come on, work on it.
Because we were like
Yeah.
still considering, we we're like, not sure about it, because we're very 50-50 about it.
Yeah. Your body, your choice.
Yeah. Still thinking lah, I'm like, macam malas. Because I feel like, we're kind of comfortable just
Oh,
the
wait,
two of us,
wait. Water. Forgot.
yeah.
Give me your cup here.
It's
Yeah.
it's cool.
So, I mean, you mentioned now that how's your work schedule like, Like you mentioned that you don't function before 10 a.m. So how, I mean, you've consistently been putting out content, as you said, every day, right? Every day,
every
right?
single day, yeah.
Every single day, So how's your schedule, typical work day like?
People have schedules. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I
All
don't.
right.
So the way it works is I would go through a period of like hyper focus where I will bulk write and bulk film stuff.
Okay.
So if you notice, I don't know if you've seen like some of my videos like back to back, the makeup's the same because it's all film on the same day, but I
Yeah.
just changed the hijab, changed the outfits, then people don't notice it's on the same day.
Right.
So I would bulk film. When I'm motivated, I'm like, okay, I got to write this motivation and film from like the next 1 week or 2 weeks. And then I'm back in my procrastinating, burnt out period. Because you have to give yourself a burnt out period, right? So that's how my brain works. This is why I quit full time, because you can't do that when you have a full time job.
Yeah.
Because you're always expected to be at 100% every single day. But for me, I have to, like, if I could fit a month's worth of work in 1 week. So, and then the other 3 weeks is just me doing nothing.
Oh, right.
By nothing, I mean literally like just rotting on the couch and just playing games on the iPad or something like that.
Vegetating.
Yeah, just vegetating. Yeah. Like fermenting,
Right. Yeah.
just fermenting on the couch, nothing. It looks like I'm doing nothing, but there's like stuff in my brain,
Yes. Yeah.
So, and then that's when I do housework and stuff. But when I'm in focus mode, don't ask me to do anything. No housework, nothing.
Absolutely.
So it only has to be me and the writing and the, because sometimes like when I write my videos, I monologue.
Yeah.
So like Shak has caught me multiple times talking to myself
Right. Okay.
when I'm planning them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I laugh at them like before I, because it's comedy, right? You have to laugh first. So if like people don't laugh, then too bad, I laugh.
Yeah. Indeed.
So yeah, that's I don't go by days, I go by week. By month, so maybe like last week, because I was busy, because I have started auditioning for stuff, I feel like, okay, maybe like because my content's slowing down a little bit, so I'm starting to kind of get into acting. So last week was just prep for audition, because this audition is really intense, because you had to learn a dance routine and everything. I'm not a dancer, I'm a musician. I'm not a dancer.
Well, you got rhythm. You got rhythm.
I hope I do, I hope I do. So like even Shak was like, I didn't know you dance. I'm like, I don't, but I know the beats,
Well, and if you have, and you can play guitar, so you have some motor coordination skills.
Yeah.
So,
Wow,
who
I haven't
knows?
played guitar in 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? So what do you still have? Do you still have your old Yamaha Pacifica? You still
yeah.
have that one?
It's at my mom's place.
Yeah.
And Shak hasn't seen it actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually very surprised. I thought he has. But he's like, you have an electric guitar? I'm like, yeah? Haven't you seen it? And then he's like, no. So it's just kind of there.
In
It's a
storage.
relic.
In storage at home, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. You. Cool. Yeah.
I do want to take it back and restring and like, but I don't know what happened to the whole, what happened to the guitar, because it's in storage for so long.
Yeah, some of the parts could be rusty and all that already.
The inner?
Yeah, you can. It might be,
Oh no.
Yeah, like the machine heads, if you might rust or something like that, sometimes they may freeze up if it's long time. Yeah.
It has been a long time since I touched the guitar.
I know. I mean, the real funny thing is that, my memory of how I connect with you has always been that.
That guitar, the first one.
Yeah, so the content creative things to me when I first saw it was like oh wow, this is a whole different side of
Where did that come from?
Yeah, that so because in me, again, I'm always viewing it from my narrow lens of music, music bands, you see, that's where it is. But I'm super super impressed, and at this whole world that you've opened up, for yourself. Yeah. Mm. And
I
and I
didn't.
must and I must say a little bit jealous or so.
Yeah.
Because
Nah.
look at you. Who's the big star right now? If you and I were to
hardly.
walk down the street or in the mall, who's the one who's gonna be mobbed by crowds? Oh, can I take photo with you?
Nah.
Be you.
I don't get mobbed a lot, to be honest. Sometimes in the most random and the worst timing. Like we crossed the border of Thailand, like in September. And I was groggy. I was like fresh out of like an 8-hour bus trip. And this kid came, and because my audience is kids, right? So this kid came up to me at the immigration line, but we couldn't take any photos because it was the immigration line. Yeah, so I had to say, I feel so bad. So I had to say no because like, it says no cameras. So like...
Yeah. Just crossing from Thailand back to Malaysia?
Like going to Thailand.
Going there. Yeah.
Going to Thailand. I was like, oh my God, of all places you could have...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can just say, sorry, tak boleh, then police marah nanti. That's how I would say it.
Yeah, the Thailand border was like, they're kind of strict, and
Oh, yeah. I've seen immigration officers I've seen one before drag some dude out of the line because he was, that's the thing, I think he was doing maybe a reel or something like that, or a story. So
in the immigration?
Yeah,
asking for it.
Of the counter line. It's like he got pulled out of the line, man. I don't know what happened lah.
Asking for it lah. I mean, this looks a big sign that says no cameras. Like I wanted to vlog them. Like wait, because I vlog my trip sometimes, but I don't post them. Because I'm too much of a perfectionist, and I feel like unscripted things is just not my thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to this world, and it's totally unscripted, man.
Yeah. I was so anxious when I was doing the podcast, with Colin, but Colin was pretty chill.
Yeah,
we did
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but he's a professional, right? So he's done it because he knows how to joke without crossing the line. Like for me, I'm so scared because like, what if I cross the line by accident? People get canceled on podcasts, So I'm like, I don't want to get canceled. And then because we posted it on YouTube, there's like this other guideline in my head because like right now at this point, I have it all memorized because I've been flagged a couple of times for like the tiniest thing, right? So I'm like, okay, I have to kind of bear in mind that I feel like I can't be myself 100% if I do it unscripted. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do like scripted stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely something that you have to consider and be careful because again, if this has become your rice bowl, your livelihood, man, if you step overboard, if you make Alphabet, if you make Google, if you make YouTube angry.
It's
like, hi, YouTube. Hey, we're being nice. Okay. Yeah.
Because you're so scared of like getting demonetized. Because I earn from YouTube, right? So if you get demonetized, that's one source of income gone.
Yeah. That's right.
Like a huge chunk of it.
I remember that you mentioned that, being something of a creator or creative had always been inside you, right?
Yeah.
Even since you were a kid. Were you able to sort of explore that? Obviously you had the band, but in secondary school, then going through college and all that, what were the ways that you expressed that?
I think I used to make memes a lot. Do you remember rage memes? The Jackie Chan meme and the Yao Ming meme. Do you
Oh,
remember this?
okay.
Like,
Yeah, okay, right, yes.
2010, you know?
Not that old, okay?
Yeah. But it's like long time ago, right? So
Yeah, okay.
I made memes out of people, you know?
Right.
And then I posted on Facebook because, you know, you post everything on Facebook. you know?
Yeah.
And we overshare on Facebook and Twitter and like, I don't know, it's wild. I don't know why people post everything.
Yeah.
So I posted that, and then when I was in university, I ran the meme page for the university. So they gave it to me, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we're graduating, so we're looking for somebody. Do you want to be the
Right.
admin?"
A meme page for the university?
Yeah,
What university is this?
Taylor's.
Oh, okay, Taylor's.
Makes
okay.
sense, right?
Right, yeah, yeah.
A lot of wild stuff happened there.
Yeah,
we have a signboard that says "Do not kidnap the ducks."
Oh.
Yeah, and because somebody got drunk. Well, okay. Okay, bad. Okay, but anyway, it's I know, up to you whether you want to keep this or not. So somebody got drunk. It's always the law students. I mean, like a law student. Makes sense. Okay, I don't know. It's just stressful, I guess, to be a law student.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So what they did was they dared each other to, because there were ducks and stuff. It's lake. It's a lake.
The lakeside
lakeside, right?
campus, yeah.
And then we're like, you know, and I visited one of my friends, and I'm like, why do I hear quacking at your place? And they're like, I don't know, probably like somebody kidnapped a dog. We thought it was a joke, you know. And then sure enough,
turned out to be.
it's real. Yeah, some of the ducks were missing. And there were like less and less ducks, you know. And they're like, why is there only like geese, you know? Where the ducks go, you know? And you're like, oh my God. And again, like in another incident in a different year, another law student decided it was a good idea to dive into the lake. So there's another new sign that says no diving.
Well, you know, didn't say that you couldn't dive, so I guess.
Just say. So like they're like, okay, we had to specify because that water was disgusting and it looks radioactive.
Okay.
So we're like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, you know.
And we saw the guy. We were like, you know, so like a lot of memeable stuff. You know, at some point somebody pulled a prank. They bought a giant inflatable duck. When I say giant, it's like 2 stories high.
Okay.
I don't know where they bought it from. And then I was like, why is there a duck? Then we thought it was like a campaign or something, you know, like a marketing thing. It's not. Somebody inflated it.
Oh, right. Okay, right. I have no idea that Taylor's was that crazy.
It's crazy. And I was just like, I don't know what I was thinking. I took software engineering. It wasn't who I am.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Yeah. If you remember, I was a software engineer full time.
Now it comes back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, the journey is how did you feel? How was there like this internal conflict, you know, within you, you know, of what you were studying, and then because that path of software engineering would be, you're gonna graduate and end up working with an IT firm, IT company, or something like that, you know?
Yeah. At some point, I wanted to be. There's this career called the ethical hacker. So you work with banks and stuff. And you get paid to hack, to test the security system and then
reverse.
Yeah, and then to tell them like, hey, there's a loophole here, you know, and it pays a ton of money. You know, it's like easily like 5 digits a month. And I thought, okay, I can make mad money and I can do whatever I want in music. That was my plan, you know. My naive way of thinking, that was it, you know, it's gonna work. It's gonna work, you know. And then I thought, I'm gonna have this really cool story where I ditch programming and get into music full time. But it never happened. Then I was like, well, that failed. So, I mean, it didn't fail. I just feel like there's just like not a lot of like good cards when I was in music, right? Because right now there's social media. Because back then you were limited to like whoever is watching your show. Or like whoever's on your social media. But social media is not as widespread as it is now. It used to be just like your friends listening to you.
The reach, nowadays, you know, I mean, it's interesting, and maybe you can talk about it. Obviously, you know, it's things that I am trying to grasp as well. You know, the way algorithms work as well. You know, it's sometimes something. How, you know, to me it's a mystery. Of course, you know, maybe to you it's not. Sometimes you can be just a, you know, like catching lightning in a bottle, and then something just special or unique or something just gets catapulted into, the whole zeitgeist of things.
I feel like the algorithm is very much like a lucky draw. So like the more you post, the more chances of the algorithm pushing your stuff to the right people. So like if you enter a lucky draw, like, statistically, if you put more entries, there's higher chances of you winning. And then sometimes they need to know that you're going to post this content so that they would be like, oh, okay, so you post skits, I'm going to send it to people who like skits. Or you post this sort of skits, so I'm going to push it to this group of people, right?
That audience, right?
Yeah, so they feel like, okay, this one doesn't work, and then they're going to try another video. But if you only have like one video, they can't help you, You're going to be stuck in 200 view jail.
Yeah.
So I feel like the algorithm's not really, it's more like a tool, It's more like a tool, but the algorithm is actually equals to audience.
Yeah.
So like in anything that you do, content is king, right? Content and the first 3 seconds of your video, you need to capture people's attention. This is why I learned, and I'm like, oh, and because like because I was a programmer, and then when I saw this framework, I was like, oh, it makes sense. Okay. And then there's like behind it all, there's like the analytics, and I'm like, oh. So then I tied my logical brain to the creative brain. I'm like, makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
It gets very technical, actually.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that having that little bit of software engineering helps to tie those two things together also. Yeah.
Because we reverse engineered how it works. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, why does this get stuck in 200 views? And I'm like, maybe, because you make assumptions, right? As a programmer, you're like, okay, maybe this is how it works. They'll send it to a group of 200 people, group A. And then group A doesn't like it, the video dies. Maybe a majority of group A likes it. They'll send it to 2,000 people, 20, 200, 2 million.
Right, yeah.
It just keeps on multiplying. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's how it works. And I'm like, let's test this theory. So it's kind of like being a scientist when you're a content creator. So you're like, okay, let's try this. And then you're like, okay, that didn't work. Let's change the beginning, the first 3 seconds. Because sometimes like even the tiniest change can affect your video.
Right.
Yeah.
Give an example of that,
So for example, right? Hi, my name is Yana, blah, 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 blah. And then like you start talking about your life, right? People will scroll. People don't care.
Yeah.
People don't care about like, hi, how are you, whatever,
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that. But like, imagine if you start your video with, guess what happened to me today? It's either like, guess what happened to me today? Or like, there's like, when you start a conversation, you don't go, hi, my name is, you don't. It's just kind of like talking to a friend. So when you want to make a joke, then you start straight away with the joke or like, the build up to the joke. Yeah. So it can't take too long because you only have 3 seconds or less.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. I think 2. 3 is being generous. 2 seconds.
Well, taking notes here. Yeah, I'm taking notes here, definitely. Yeah. It's stating the obvious, but of course, I think consistency.
Yes.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier, like, how you work in a bulk form, you write, you script things out, and you shoot everything in the bulk periods within a certain time frame.
Yeah.
Is that a typical thing for most content creators, or?
For some people, I think for women specifically who do makeup, because it's a lot of effort to put on makeup, right? So if you film every day, it's like, put on makeup, erase makeup, only to do one video. It's not worth it,
Yeah.
And I feel like, to make the makeup worth it. And I take the makeup as like an accountability thing. So if I have makeup on, I have to film. Because otherwise it would have been a waste of makeup, So like that's how I force myself to do it, But for other content creators, especially like the men, the friends, my male friends, they do like, okay, I want to post this video today. I'm going to film it right now, edit, and then post, right?
Yep.
That's their workflow. But I'm like, isn't that tiring? They're like, it's more tiring to bulk film. So it's like, it depends on their preference. Like for me, because I have a limited time space where I would just do the zoomies and do everything,
Yeah.
Because if I miss that time frame, I'm going to have to wait for another few weeks for it to come back.
Right. Makes total sense. It always helps to look at from other people's point of view, and then maybe try and take that and angle it and take it back from maybe my perspective in what I do in music. And hey, these things definitely does apply. There's some things with some processes which is just better to do workflow wise, all in one shot, in one go, instead of obviously if I'm working on an album, I'm not going to set up, tear down, set up, tear down. It's
Yeah,
the
you
same
have
thing.
to
It's like
bulk, right?
it's like, hey, do you want to do record drums for an EP, an album? Let's do all the drums
It's like
within this
drum,
space.
drum.
Within this space, instead of having to set up, do one song and then tear down again, it just doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. But do you run the risk of? But doesn't that run the risk of sometimes if you like write content and then after within this bulk and then maybe like 2 weeks later it doesn't work, or maybe it's not relevant anymore? Do you run the risk of that?
Oh yeah, that's why I skip. I usually avoid trending news or I
Topical
do
stuff,
topical
right?
stuff because sometimes it takes a while for the algorithm to send your videos to the right people.
Okay.
So I don't do like the news stuff or like I wanted to do the PDD meme because of the PDD
right,
issue
okay.
and the Beyonce thing. I was like, that's kind of funny. That's like my kind of humor. But I know by the time I film, it's gonna be too late.
It's so quick nowadays,
Yeah.
Sometimes 24 hours and then poof, the thing just disappears off the radar already. You know? Some things have a longer shelf life lah. Yeah. So I don't know, because at least I at least know a little bit of YouTube. There's always, they give you those, what are the trending things that your viewers are searching for or something like that.
Yeah.
But I look at, but sometimes
it's always old, right? Old stuff.
it's like, okay, that's trending, these kind of things, but I don't really want to talk about that. Do you find that as, does that affect you in what you decide to put out?
I don't usually look at that section because I don't find it helpful. What I do look at is are the creators in my niche. So like that's the most important part. Like what works, how can I make it my own? So if I do like the whole like what's trending right now, it's usually they capture it way too late.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not relevant because it could be kids watching Roblox stuff. Like why would I make content about Roblox? I don't play Roblox, right? So it's not relevant to me because even for me, like I watch a bunch of stuff, So, but it doesn't mean that, I want the creator to do what I watch, I could be watching how to survive a plane crash. I don't. Do you do this thing where you just watch like survival videos just in case? And it's always like the most bizarre situation.
Sometimes it takes you. It's literally falling down the rabbit hole. It takes you down rabbit holes of certain topics, and then you just can't help it. Just go into deep dives about this. Yeah.
Especially true crime. Oh my god, I love true crime. I'm obsessed.
Oh, I don't know. Isn't that more of like a girl thing?
You don't watch true crime?
No.
Yeah, watch it before bed. It's so fun. Does your wife watch true crime as well?
No. I think she's just more into her dramas. Yeah.
Oh, I love drama sometimes.
Into dramas. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes it depends.
Yeah. So no, not YouTube. No, not YouTube. Or she's more like into her Thai dramas and all that. Yeah.
Oh, Thai dramas are good.
Yeah.
They're really good. I've been studying their acting. Every time I'm obsessed with something, I start studying. Like I always pick somebody to study.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I used to pick you and studied you. I don't know if you realize.
What?
Yeah, I studied you as a musician. So I was like, and then I tried to, so this is okay. So I tried to follow every move.
Yeah. I mean, in music or any sort of art form anyway, that's how you start off by mimicking.
Yeah.
You try and mimic somebody or someone or a certain style that you like. And then because I think creativity or art does not come out of a vacuum.
Yeah.
It just doesn't come out of thin
Nothing's
air.
new.
Yeah,
Nothing's new.
in this day and age, nothing's new and original. It's always derived from something.
Yeah, you can't create things out of thin air. It might sound different or unique, but it's inspired by something.
Yeah, it's always something that you can draw from the entire human consciousness. Wow.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. But that's very cool where you said so you would say you would do content about things that you like, right? You
Yeah.
just don't look at the whatever the trending thing
No.
is, right? Okay.
Because
right.
people can tell if you're not really into it, but you're doing it for the algorithm. People know.
You're right. Yeah.
I've tried,
Okay. Right.
and it failed so badly. So I was like,
Is it because you see certain content creators? Oh wow! Oh, it seems like they can. Is it because you can see that they're jumping on this bandwagon, right?
Yes. That, and sometimes they can tell you're not sincere.
Mm-hmm.
Like the audience can tell if you're having fun or not.
Right.
So I've reached a point where I feel like this is starting to become a chore, like a job. It is a job, but it's a creative job.
Yeah.
So it still means you're supposed to enjoy yourself to a certain extent,
Yes,
right? Even
yeah.
with music and stuff, like it still needs to be fun. Like yeah, it's putting bread on the table, but still needs to have that level of fun. Otherwise, you're gonna lose the passion. And I lost that passion for a bit in June.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
so I was like, oh no, it's happening with content creation. And then I panicked because it's only been a few years, right? With music, it took over a decade for it to finally disappear, right? But I do still feel like it's still there sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
The passion for music.
Yeah, like I said, it's never too late. You can always come back, catch a second win, Yeah.
Not that I have a platform. I feel like I could just like capitalize on my own platform. I don't know.
Maybe we hear something in the works.
Do you know I learned, I picked up metal screaming? Did I tell you?
You mentioned it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that come about?
Oh, that's funny. It was around the time when I recorded the second single with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was stuck in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And and I did this thing, right? This sound. And I was like, wait, is this how they be doing the scream parts? And I was like, okay, then I did it, right? And I sent it to my metal friend. And he's like, how the hell did you discover you could do that? And I'm like, oh, because of, in traffic. And then I say, so is that how? And then he's like, yeah, that's exactly how I do it. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But I never did anything about it.
You just know that it's something you have in your toolbox.
Yeah, it's just kind of like there. And I think 2 years ago, my friend, the same guy that I sent the voice note to, he came up to me. He's like, hey, so we have this ad. We need a very niche talent. And I'm like, what you mean niche? He's like, I need somebody who can act as a makcik bawang and can do metal screaming. And I'm like, that is very niche. And he's like, you're the only one I can think of. And I'm like, okay, sure, man.
It's super specific.
Yeah. I'll show you the song. I don't know if you've seen the Raya video, but I'll show you the song later.
Okay,
It's done very well.
Yeah. Oh, well, check it out. Maybe I'll just link it later down in the description. Go and check it out. This weird stuff. Yeah.
It's an ad too.
Yeah.
For a massage place.
Okay. Right.
It gets worse and worse. But yeah, it was a fun project. So that was one. I think that was my second acting gig, official acting gig.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's in store for Shiltok Lady now?
Oh,
Yeah.
I keep telling people this, but I'm really just like manifesting it. I'm not gonna be on YouTube forever, right? So probably get into filmmaking and acting actually. To be honest. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Anything it's just something that you have on the radar. Anything solid that you can share or
For now, not. It's really just kind of like you're kind of planting your seeds everywhere and connecting with like people and trying to gather your Avengers of like filmmaking.
Right.
So I've met a few people and I'm like, these people are cool. Okay, I can work with them, right? But it's different than a band. With a band, like it needs to be like everybody needs to be at 100%, right? But like with film, it can be like, okay, I can work with this person. Okay, never mind, work with this person. Then kind of just like pick the people that you like working with. You know?
Is that why you've been doing some auditions as well? Is that part of it?
Yeah, it's part of it. It's like kind of like people are like, oh, because you want to get into shows and stuff, and I'm like, yes, but the main reason was to meet people. Because like I don't know anyone. And the other day, I filmed this Malay drama for TikTok, and coincidentally, the director is actually a family friend.
Mm-hmm.
And we go even way back. He was there at the hospital when I was born.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, you should talk to Abang Johan. So I'm like, yeah, cool. You know? And I was like, why is this guy smiling at me? And he's like, you know, but he was like just there at the monitor, you know.
Okay, right.
So I was kind of like, why is he like, okay? And I'm like, maybe I should say hi. And I'm like, hi. And he's like, I grew up with your brothers and sisters, by the way. And I'm like, oh, wait, wait a minute. And he was like, you act? And I'm like, just started. So,
right. Yeah. Okay, you know, yeah.
But yeah, I was like, wait, so I know people without knowing that I know people.
Yeah. I think that's a super valid thing. I mean, I think it's important for anybody. I think it's a good lesson here is if you want to get into something, be it music or comedy or acting or whatever, you can't just talk and dream about it. You have to be there.
Yeah.
You have to put a foot into that world.
Yeah.
So, you know, it doesn't matter whether you actually get it or not, but
just try.
You just try, you know. Like if you want to get into sound or doing this, you gotta go into studios. You gotta go into, you know, get a crew job at a live sound. If you want to be hanging around concerts and doing all that, you have to do that. You know, the pathways.
Yeah.
One important thing is you have to be there. Yeah, being there is half the battle, you know?
Yeah. I feel like that was what was lacking with the music part, you know? The music part of my career.
Yeah.
It's just that because I feel like I was already juggling my full-time job. So I already don't have time for like, you know.
It's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have to kind of like, you have to be everywhere, you know? And then sometimes like some shows is just your band and the sound man. So like nobody's actually there. So like you're trying to cast the net, but there's no fish.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
You know? And it's also, I mean, the parallels are there, you know? It is a numbers game as well. You just have to keep slogging and going at it, playing gigs, playing shows, blah, blah, blah. May or may not be any audience, you know, or whatsoever. So, but of course, it's tougher being a band because it's like...
It's like five of you.
five of you. The rehearsals, the cost of jamming and the gear, the investment and
it's
gas
hard.
money, toll money to get there. So that you don't end up with anything.
Yeah, and then you have to kind of like, it's a lot of cost. If the band's not all 100% into it, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just like that one person 100%, everybody's just kind of like maybe 5%, and that's not enough, you know?
Yeah.
And I just feel like maybe like I work better alone rather than as a band.
I was just gonna go there, you know. So hey, you know, see ya, guys. You know,
bye. No, but I mean, I don't blame them. Maybe it's just me because I was a different person before this. I feel like I wasn't comfortable with my own skin back then. That's why I was a software engineer. That's why I wanted to play guitar because nobody looks at the musicians. They always look at the vocalists, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I don't. You're the same person to me. You know? You're the same to me. Again, maybe because it's seared in my brain, my memory. No,
is it the 15-year-old one or?
No, throughout to me, I think we go through different phases, you know. But it's the same person inside, deep down inside. Wherever you take away the outside, the superficial. In the end, you know,
it's like the same Pokemon.
Down inside, deep down, the character, the personality. You know, I feel, you know, it's the same person. I mean, I feel it that way. You know, at least with you, definitely. You know, yeah.
I was just telling my husband this. I was like, oh my god, like when we met, right? I was 15 and you're my age now. So now I'm your age back then. So it's like, I get it. So I was kind of like, oh my god,
very
I was
cool.
a brat.
No. You know. I mean, I'm super appreciative. Actually, you know.
Yeah.
I'm super appreciative that you showed up for our shows.
Yeah.
For you know, and all that. You know. Maybe inside I was telling myself, yeah, okay, that's cool. You know, I got fans finally. You know. Yeah. You know.
I was observing.
Yeah.
So I could replicate later.
Yeah, but
So I do it to a strange as well.
very, very cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I chose like a few bands and I'm like, okay, these bands are like affiliated. So I'm like, okay, let's just like observe. Because I had such limited time to see bands, right?
Yes, of course.
Because my mom's strict. If you remember, I don't know if you remember, but my mom, she, in order to go to like a gig or something like that, right? I had to do well in school. So that was the trade.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to do band stuff, I had to get a good job. So it's always like a trade. So I want to do whatever I wanted to do this. So like that's why I felt like programming and music was going to go well. No, it didn't. It's really bad burnout.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a great point to that you brought up now. So, what does your mom think about it now? About what you're doing now?
Oh, she didn't know for 3 years. 2 years, 2 years, not 3. 2 years. I kept it from her for 2 years. Yeah, you know how she found out. So I wanted to do a Q&A stuff, right? So I posted on the YouTube community stuff, and then I said, who do you guys want me to make a video with? My husband or my mom? And it was like 75% mom, because everybody wants to, and I'm like, oh, that's bad. And then it was like, wasn't a live stream, but we picked the questions. Then I'm like, oh, this is probably a good time to tell her that I quit my job 2 years ago. So she found out on camera. So she couldn't explode. She couldn't get mad because it's on camera. So it's kind of like...
That's a good strategy,
And she was like, because like one of the questions was, this is a question for Yana's mom. How do you feel about your daughter quitting her job to become a content creator? Then she was reading it. She was like, you quit your job?
That's comedy gold also. Like,
and I was like, surprise.
That would be comedic gold. Yeah.
And everybody commented that part. They're like, oh, she's screwed. And everybody's like, did your mom really find out there and then? And I'm like, yeah, she did. I didn't want to tell her because I know if I were to tell her that I kept it a secret from a lot of friends as well. Because, sometimes people are not say naysayer, they care about you. But sometimes you feel like, let me try for a year, Let me do something completely unhinged for like a year. And then if I fail, I'll just go back to 9 to 5, no problem, right? Because I've got a good resume and like I've got really good experiences that I can just get back into the workforce, no problem, right? But like sometimes people are like, oh, but it's gonna be unstable. Oh, it's gonna be no, too many excuses. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna be broke for a year, and I was broke for a year actually. So I laid low, and I had to reject all the hangouts, and I said, oh, Korea, I'm kind of on a budget. Let's do this, So eventually people start noticing like, hey, she's kind of quiet. What happened to her? I was grinding.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's cool. I mean, we don't get to hear, what happens, behind the curtain. All these things that, the things that you definitely have to sacrifice a lot of things.
Yeah.
The time spent with friends and all that. There's a lot of things you have to sacrifice. Yeah.
Because you have no money.
Okay, because of that.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, like, because we do still hang out and stuff. Because I find myself doing a better job when I socialize and stuff. So like, I always say yes, depending on who's asking. If this person drains my energy, I'm like, no. No, thank you. I feel like that's how I filter friends, right? So... I don't know if you're like this, but
it's a very, very helpful filter. Yeah. Very helpful.
I feel like this person's so draining. I feel like I can't say anything I want to say because this person's like,
wants to one-up you or something like that.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah. Those type,
Right, yeah.
And then I start distancing myself and I'm like, this is so... I see it, Is this being 30? It's like... your frontal lobe developed, and you're like, the moment I turned 30, right? The first sign was back pain. And the second sign was like, you're starting to see like some people are just draining. And then you're like...
Yeah, you feel the auras of people, yeah.
And it's weird.
You get that so-called sixth sense of, or intuition.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, perhaps, yeah. Your intuition gets,
like heightened,
Yeah, exactly.
And I was kind of like, oh. And then there was this thing where people start talking about neurodivergence and stuff, right? And I resonate with it. I'm not officially diagnosed,
Mm-hmm.
but I see it and I'm like, wait, that makes sense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like, okay, I'm not diagnosed, but can I still use their style of working, right?
The tools,
The
yeah.
tools and how
Mm.
they manage their
Correct.
lives as
Mhm.
like somebody with neurodivergence, right? And I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, this is what's missing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's when I started scheduling my burnout and stuff. And I'm like,
Mhm.
it works.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so this is so I definitely don't see myself going back to 9 to 5 unless Malaysian companies start adapting
Right.
these
Okay.
accommodations.
Yeah. And that's interesting. I mean, that topic has been around so long, but it still feels that that conversation just we never got beyond the surface
The
of that
accommodation part?
about neurodivergence.
Yeah.
I have someone who came on my podcast as well. Her name is Melinia. Do you know
Oh,
Mel
Mel.
Molina?
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
She's
love
also
Mel.
she's my junior back in ICOM. Back in
Yeah.
so she was an audio engineer. She did live sound for even like some of the bands. I think even for A Strange Honest Mistake, she did live sound
Yeah.
as well. So she's a really good audio engineer and stage manager, crew kind of thing. But she's a live streamer now. She's
Wait,
also
she stopped?
yeah,
When
for
did she
quite
stop?
quite a while ago. She's also a content creator now, but she's like more like live stream,
Oh, live
like on
stream.
Twitch and all that. So, also, she spoke and she shared about her ADHD on this here as well. We had that conversation as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then you start looking around, you're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
everyone has not everyone. It's like the people you surround yourself
Mm-hmm.
with that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh. And I feel like, when you ask me, you're like, why did I go down that path knowing that
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to be a programmer? Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was the part where I started masking
Mm-hmm.
the person that I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I was still finding myself. And then at 30, I unmasked. And actually, I lost a lot of people that I was relieved about. Can you
Right.
imagine losing people and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I lost this person because was it a loss though?
Well, yeah, yeah. It depends on how you look at it,
Yeah.
Mm,
Because I feel like we were just not, like me and like those people that I lost,
Mhm.
we're just like
Yeah.
not good friends, Like
Yeah.
I'm sure they're good people in their own right.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just don't have that chemistry as friends,
That's right. Yeah, that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just not trying to be. We're not trying to be mean. We're
No.
not nasty. And then likewise, it's not that nobody's trying to be mean here. It's just that sometimes it's just better this way.
Yeah.
Just find a better way.
But it's hard for me, because I feel like I used to attach like friendship with morality.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like, whoa, this is very personal. But anyway, for me, it's like if someone hasn't done anything wrong, like why would I distance myself, But then I thought about it. I'm like, there are people who are very draining, So I'm like, why then am I still friends with these people? Because I feel like, it's like staying in a relationship, but like there's no chemistry anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're trying to force it because you've been friends for like decades. And then you're kind of like, this is not,
yeah. I mean, it happens. It feels like you are both pulling a cart or whatever. And if both parties are not taking up the slack, taking up the weight, and you have to take up the slack,
Yeah.
One party is suffering just for the sake of maintaining a relationship,
Yeah.
right? Suffering in silence very often.
Yeah.
So that why should you go down that road? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I realized that at 30 again. So it's like at 30, everything's just like where was this at 29? It's weird, So I was kind of like, what is this realization? And it was a very emotional journey for me, right? And I feel like I was really myself when I went for acting class. Funny enough, right? Because you think like acting means that you're playing a character, but actually not. You're actually tapping into like the deepest
tapping into
yourself, And then I had so many walls that my coach had to break through. And then she's like, okay, let's get rid of this wall. Let's address this wall. Then she says, I want you to call your mom. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, I want you to call your mom right now. You can mute the call, but I can tell if you're lying. And then I had to just do the call because it was a Zoom class, right? So I had to call her in front of my coach
Mm-hmm.
to sort some issues, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, like, with our parents, like, you kind of, like Asians, we don't
Mm-hmm.
talk to our parents like that,
Wow.
you know, sometimes.
Wow. This coach is like, it sounds like a therapist.
Yeah, she's like, because with
Mm.
acting, right? If you have emotional blocks, you can't be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started removing, I'm like, it was so much easier to tap into certain emotional pools because you're not triggered by something, you know. So and even for her, she had a really bad traumatic experience that she had to go to therapy for. And then when she handled that, she became a much better actor. Because as an actor, it's like you have to be yourself first, you know. Like you can't play the character; you have to be the character.
Awesome.
You know,
Yeah.
I can talk about acting like so many hours. This is my new hyperfixation.
Awesome. Yeah.
This is how I used to talk about music. It's so sad that I
No.
don't anymore.
No. I mean, the most important thing is it's the thing you love.
Yeah.
I think that's all that matters. Whatever form of expression, it may take, as long as you love it, man. As long as you
Yeah.
love it, yeah.
But knowing music helps as an actor, actually.
Yeah.
Because I was told to learn 3 different things. So music, acting, dancing. So,
Okay.
and dancing I just started picking up. So I'm like, I'm a little slow, but
All right. Okay. No. As long as at any time that if you're required to play something that's holding an instrument, a guitar, okay, then at least I know. Okay, you're holding a real chord. Very judgmental if I see a movie or drama and then they're playing guitar, but then hey, wait,
oh my God,
it's not playing the
yes.
chord. I think there were those weird memes where some of those Bollywood movies
They
where the
hold it
guitar
like
is like.
this, right? Or like like that. And I'm like, bro, what chord is that?
But then again, musicians we look at all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
But it's hard, right? Like, how do you listen to songs and not be like, the bass is off?
Oh,
I still do that sometimes.
They see that's the musician part of you, which is still
Yeah.
that part of the brain, which is still
Yeah.
spinning, and the gears are still spinning that way. Yeah. Oh, trust me, with non-musical people, you can get away with a lot of stuff.
What do you mean?
As in, I mean, I've done a lot of things, and sometimes you can get away with things.
What have you done?
No. I mean,
What do you
I've
mean?
delivered stuff where there were issues. It's not done by me. Maybe it's done by someone. Or
Okay,
I've mixed
okay.
it. I've mixed the record or
Oh,
something.
you mean
where it's
okay.
clearly there's some issues there. Pitching, tuning, or whatever. There's clearly some issues, but not
But it's
like-
so
like
minor.
99% of the listening audience did not pick it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
but musicians might, right?
But musicians will, yeah.
Or probably
But the
like-
musicians are not the consumer of that.
yeah.
Yeah, that.
So it doesn't
that
matter.
music. So in the end, the
doesn't
client
even
still.
matter.
Yeah. In the end. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Awesome.
so I don't know. Even as a musician back then, even
Yeah.
until now,
Mm.
if I could hear like the mix
Yeah.
isn't solid,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like something's off.
Yeah.
And then like, I would tell Shaq, and then Shaq's like, really? And I'm like, try to compare this to this.
Mm.
And he's like, oh, I hear it, so it doesn't sound full. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's the term, but it doesn't sound right,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. It's a good time to wind it down. It's been awesome to hear all your stories.
Yeah, it's a lot. I could
and
go on for ages if you
I'm
don't stop
sure,
me.
you can always do a part 2 later on down the line when you get
Sure.
something new to talk about and something spicy.
The goss.
Yeah, the goss. All right. I always want to wrap up. What would be a good advice be for if you tell your 15-year-old self back then, what would you, I know it's a cliche thing. You've probably been asked this a million times, but what would you tell yourself? Yeah, your young self.
I know exactly what to say.
Mm.
Choose your battles and be nice to mom.
All right.
Because we always butt heads, like because I think it's because we're so similar.
Mhm.
So when you're so similar with your parents, that's when you butt heads a lot. And sometimes they're
okay.
like, "No, you can't do this." Now I'm like,
Right.
Is that a challenge?
It's the it's that cliche again of the the polar magnetics,
Yeah.
your North Pole opposites attract,
Yeah, you kind of just like, because you're too similar, you're kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I learned how to circumvent it. So, I would also tell my younger self what my ex-boss told me when I quit software engineering. He said, follow your instincts, no matter what it is. Listen to your instincts.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they will get you to somewhere that's good. To get you to a good destination. Yeah. Awesome.
But have a safety net, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Have a safety net.
Yes, yeah. Have something to fall back upon. That's also generally a good advice as well.
Yeah. In any situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So as the one of the prequel Star Wars prequel means is we shall watch your career with great interest. I don't know whether whoever got that reference or not lah. Yeah, did you get a reference?
Yeah.
Okay, right. If,
of course.
Yeah, you get a reference, but a lot of people.
It's the prequels.
The prequel. That's a Phantom Menace for your reference.
Yeah, the first.
We shall watch your career with great interest. I think this lady here can go places, right? I think so. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We hope so. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Flop and start again.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? Nothing.
So, well, by hook, by crook, I will see whether there's a way that I can drag you kicking and screaming back into music in one way or another. I tried to, right? I mentioned we can talk about this off camera.
Yeah.
I pitched a proposal, but then they didn't go with it.
I mean, we could do a collab.
We could do another one. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a proposal thing.
Make use of that metal screamo thingy.
Yeah, I need to show you first though if you actually think it's good or it's terrible. I feel like it's. I don't know.
You may have to warm up first. I won't ask you to do it right away.
Yeah.
I don't want you to Yeah. Usually I tell my guests to just leave their websites and social media and whatever and not. No need lah. No need lah with you. I don't think there's a need to already. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You don't need this my little YouTube channel as to elevate you any further. Okay. It's more like I feel bad. It's like I'm more like actually using and manipulating you instead. Thank you so much, Yana. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bang, bang, bang.